Hi, my name is BkRvwATabb. This is my book review for Adult Education 7646 Workforce and Education. This course is being taught in the summer of 2017. The book that I chose to read and review for this presentation is entitled Jumpstart Your Leadership. The book is authored by John C. Maxwell. You may be familiar with John C. Maxwell. He is renowned for his writings and work on leadership. Among the topic of leadership, he focuses on team building, also thinking, communications, and growth for leaders. I visited his website, johncmaxwell.com, and I found two quotes that I thought were relevant to this book review. With so much hinging upon this philosophy that is of leadership, I've made it my life's passion to develop leaders at all levels. I believe in you and the power of your influence to create a legacy within your sphere of influence that will leave behind an army of leaders who get the importance of strong leadership. You see, my passion in life is growing and equipping others to do remarkable things and lead significant and fulfilled lives. Furthermore, John C. Maxwell is a #1 New York Times best-selling author. He has sold more than 24 million books in 50 languages. He is the founder of the John Maxwell Company. And aside from that, each year, Maxwell is known for speaking to Fortune 500 companies, presidents of nations, and many of the top and leading business professionals and leaders in the world. He grew up in Michigan and he attended Ohio Christian University. Then he received a Master of Divinity and a Doctorate of Ministry. He was a pastor for more than 30 years before devoting himself full-time to writing and speaking. In terms of the book that I have chosen, Jumpstart Your Leadership, it's a 90-day improvement plan. It's designed to help readers start and improve what's called their leadership journey. It's a miniature-sized book, and it's filled with 90 quotes. There are 2 pages for each day. For example, there's day 1. There's a page with a quote and an explanation, and then also there's a second page to support that day 1. Now, in terms of those quotes, 90, it includes information from prominent world leaders. As an example, Mother Teresa, Henry Ford, Sam Walton, Jack Welch, and so many others. This improvement plan provides readers with key points of instruction, insight, and inspiration. Regardless if the leadership opportunity is big or small, it's designed to help those persons that are interested in this topic of leadership expand their skills. Particularly, I did enjoy reading this book for 2 primary reasons. One is that I found the content to be very relatable to my personal experience in terms of wanting to enhance my leadership skills, but also the content, the text is very easy to comprehend for persons. The next few slides here, I want to dabble into specific days among those 90 to bring your attention to just some examples of how this looks. Day 4, as an example, the quote says that before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. When you become a leader, success is about growing others. Now, this quote is by Jack Welch. Jack Welch is an American retired business executive, author, and engineer. He was the CEO of General Electric between 1981 and 2001. So within the 2 pages for day 1, we have the quote from Jack Welch, but also John Maxwell below the quote simplifies this quote for persons to understand. As an example, I'll read it directly from the book. The journey into leadership will only be successful if you dedicate yourself to continual development. To become an effective leader, you must believe that the leadership position you received does not make you a leader. Rather, it is merely an invitation to grow. Make the most of whatever opportunity in leadership you receive by making growth your goal. On the second page, there's an item, still in reference to day 4. Make a list of the areas you feel are your strengths. Put a star next to the area where you shine most. How can you develop that area? Moving on to day 19. Outstanding leaders go out of their way to boost the self-esteem of their personnel. If people believe in themselves, it's amazing what they can accomplish. And this quote is by Sam Walton. Sam Walton is an American businessman and entrepreneur. He is best known for founding retailers as Walmart and also Sam's. Now I'm going to go directly to the day 19 in the text to read John Maxwell's simplified version of this quote, and it reads, "If you want to become a better leader, you can't focus on rules and procedures to get things done or keep things going. You must develop relationships. Why? Because the reality is that the people get things done, not the playbook they use. And because people are the power behind any organization, they are its most valuable and appreciable asset. It takes time to develop your people skills, but it takes no time at all to let others know that you value them, expressing appreciation for them, and taking interest in them personally." This is on the one page of day 19. The second page of day 19 reads, "Think about the people you lead. Pick one, and in front of others on the team, tell him or her the value they bring. Note their response here. Try to get in the habit of doing this with everyone on the team." And I should mention on the second page is several lines for notes. Persons reading this book as well can take down notes and write things as they read for throughout the 90 days. I'll move on to the next day, being day 25. Here, when there is danger, good leaders take the front line. But when there is celebration, a good leader stays in the back room. If you want the corporation of human beings around you, make them feel that they are important. This quote is by Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was a South African revolutionary politician, philanthropist. He served as president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. In the day 25, John Maxwell simplifies the text by saying here, good leadership is relationally driven. That is only possible when people respect and value one another as important. It is impossible to relate well with those you don't respect. When respect lessens in a relationship, the relationship diminishes. You can care for people without leading them, but you cannot lead them effectively without caring for them. The second page of the day 25 reads, "If there is anyone with whom you have difficulty working, think about why that is. What can you do to improve that relationship?" I want to read from day 72. "More men are failures on account of success than on account of failures. They beat their way over a dozen obstacles, overcome a host of difficulties, sacrifice and sweat. They make the impossible the possible. Then along comes a little success and it tumbles them from their perch. They let up, they slip, and over they go." This quote is by Henry Ford. Henry Ford, well known as an American industrialist, he founded Ford Motor Company and sponsored the development of the assembly line technique of mass production. And on day 72, this quote by Henry Ford, Maxwell further simplifies this quote by writing, "Good leaders keep pushing. If they gain momentum, they don't back off and coast. They press on and continue and increase the momentum so that they can accomplish even greater things. And they help their people to do the same thing." How are they able to stay focused and accomplish so much? Despite success as well as failure. Once again, Henry Ford had a suggestion. Make your future plan so long and so hard, Ford advised, that the people who praise you will always seem to you to be talking about something very trivial in comparison with what you are really trying to do. The second page of day 72 reads, what can you put into place in your inner life that will help you press on and increase the momentum you are gaining for the long-term journey? Altogether, as I mentioned earlier in this presentation, I did enjoy this read of Jumpstart Your Leadership by John C. Maxwell. I found there to be several strengths of the text. Recognize leadership opportunities. Here, to explain this item, is that there were, among the content, the 90 days, the improvement plan, many opportunities discussed for potential leaders, those persons aspiring to become leaders, as well as those persons needing to develop or enhance their leadership skills. Each day, 1 through 90, consisted of 2 pages, as I mentioned. So day 72, there was 1 page with the quote by Henry Ford and also the simplified explanation by John C. Maxwell. And then the second page consisted of the 1 small item talking directly to the reader and providing lines for persons to take notes. Another strength I mentioned, each quote is further explained and simplified by Maxwell. Unpleasant leadership situations and scenarios are identified within the text. I thought was a strength of this text. Now there were weaknesses also. As an example, the very small miniature size of the hard copy book to me was a bit too small, especially for taking notes. I also recommend a possible supplemental workbook at a larger size where persons can, based on the small text, be able to read, or actually take notes in a larger size workbook. Another weakness, now this plays onto one of the strengths in terms of there were leadership situations and scenarios, those that were negative, I will say, identified, but they were not thoroughly explained. I would have liked to have seen some suggestive ways for new leaders to handle these negative situations and scenarios. I did purchase the book, Jumpstart Your Leadership. I purchased it from Barnes & Noble's online for $2, which I thought was a very good deal. It is available on Amazon, Kindle, as well as a hardcover. Barnes & Noble's, as I mentioned, I purchase online. Persons can also walk into the store and purchase it. Books A Million has it on its website for $3.99. I chose this book to present my book review and presentation on because I think that this item here is great for the workplace in terms of workforce. Aspiring leaders, as an example, in the workplace can benefit from reading this 90-day improvement plan. It gives insight and instruction on what happens as you are a leader, how to expand in your growth. I think it's also a great resource for leadership development through an example of workshops and seminars. And then lastly, also, I think it is a good workforce reference for current workplace leaders. Other books that Maxwell has published that are renowned include 5 Levels of Leadership, The 360-Degree Leader, Failing Forward, and Laws of Leadership. And this is my last slide to include references that I've used for this presentation. I will end this slide by mentioning that Maxwell has written several other books relative to this topic of Jumpstart Your Leadership. They include Jumpstart Your Priorities, Jumpstart Your Thinking, and also Jumpstart Your Growth. Thank you.